She just tells me to fap quieter.
Yeah, we're live. Dave, where's your opener?
And then we walked in, made eye contact, and then I am never going to that spa ever again.
So that back to school night at Chuck E. Cheese.
Tell me about it.
Was that really a Chuck E. Cheese?
Across the street from a Catholic church, but anyway. How are we doing tonight, guys?
For those just joining us, we don't know what the hell they're talking about either, so you're all on the same page that we are. But, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, all you beautiful collectors, podcast enthusiasts, and action figure aficionados. Welcome to another episode of Figure Action. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
One of you was going to do that.
I pulled a page from Animaniacs.
You pulled the whole book.
Did they ask for it back?
Fantastic show.
Should I do the geography song?
If you know it.
I don't know it.
Anyway.
I just remember Panama, Uruguay, and now I lost it.
Yeah.
Racist.
I never get to get it.
Joining me this evening is our lovely panel of collecting aficionados and experts. So let's introduce them. Let's go down the road. T-Man 978. Good evening. How are you?
I'm spectacular. How are you?
I'm good. I was under contract to introduce you first.
Oh yeah.
I have it. It's here in the show notes.
Well,
I have
good.
to introduce you first. You're good.
I want Brad Pitt to come in and start
How's
screaming.
everybody out there in the comments? Make sure to comment. Talk to us. You have a special reason to comment, and somebody else is going to talk about that later.
Also joining us this evening is True Star Screamer.
Hey, everybody.
Wow.
Jesus. He's not really joining us.
Let's put it this way. If anybody here is a fan of Japanese films, you can just call me Takahashi, because damn, I'm beat.
Went over my head.
Don't even worry about it.
Someone out there got it. Don't you worry.
At first, I thought he was going to say Takashi Miike, and I was like, "Oh man, no wonder you're so mopey." That's a bad way to spend an afternoon.
Adrian, how are you, Adrian?
Yeah, good. Very good. Wonderful. Sunny. Spring has sprung. And my toy room's a fucking mess, but we're getting there.
Are you redoing it? You're right. You're in the middle of redoing some stuff.
Yeah, I've pulled out all the center shelves all the way along, and it's going to be a 4-meter or 12, 13-foot diorama.
Nice.
You gonna put pictures up once it gets rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling. I should have already started with the... I was going to do a how-to, but I'm a cunt.
You could do a how-to on how to be a cunt.
Yeah. Oh, I love it when you say it.
And there goes our monetization, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we don't have any monetization.
We're going to lose that.
That's never going to happen.
As soon as we get it, we're going to lose it.
This evening's Figure Action brought to you by the word cunt.
The letter C.
Extra Zero, how are you this evening, sir?
Aside from being on call from work, I'm doing fantastic because I get to give something away to one lucky listener who's participating in our YouTube chat tonight. So you're watching us after our live broadcast, or you're listening on Podbean, iTunes, or the Google Play Store. Unfortunately, you're SOL on this one. But to one lucky listener who's participating in our chat, I have a Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer that I will ship out to you absolutely free. We'll have a drawing at the end of the show, so stay tuned. And hey, while you're listening, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and if I have to mysteriously disappear, just know it's for work, and I didn't just ghost on the podcast.
It's not at all.
Is the giveaway international?
Yeah, is the shipping free worldwide?
If it's unreasonable shipping, then I may ask for a little help on it. But in the continental U.S., it's 100% free to you. So
just a sec.
May I make a YouTube account?
What? Oh, I didn't mute. Fuck.
If someone international does win, they also have the option of moving closer if you want to do that.
And I'm not the only one with a contest going on. We got one that's going till October. Go back to True Starscreamer real quick. Why don't you tell us about the thing you're running?
You want this Deadpool, don't you?
I think everybody wants that Deadpool.
Tell the ones listening what it is.
We have a mint in sealed box, Juggernaut Wave Deadpool. Tape still intact, never been displayed. All I need from you guys is on your Instagrams to give me some kind of cool picture with your toys. Hashtag Figure Action Podcast. Again, this is a continental USA only. I am sorry. I am poor and live in North Carolina. So, but I do have, again, for you, a free Marvel Legends Juggernaut Wave Deadpool. All the weapons, all the posability, all the fourth wall for you.
And you don't have to be watching live to get that. You just have to do what you just...
Just do what I say.
If you heard Extra Zero say the Silver Surfer and yet you were bummed, oh man, I'm not listening live. I didn't get to win the Silver Surfer. There you go. You have your chance.
True Starscreamer has your back when Zero leaves you in the dust.
Oh. At least I'm giving away a new figure. Come on
now. Also, for those participating, I might give away this Cumulus figure, but if you're not in the podcast, you're not eligible.
Oh my god! You know, just you actually have
to. That's not happening. No, I don't.
No, we'll make it like the business card scene from American Psycho.
Hey Zero, do you like Huey Lewis in the news?
Do I like what? Oh,
Huey Lewis in the news.
Oh, at least you're not wearing like a protective clear suit right now, and you're all the way down in the Carolinas. I don't have to worry about getting bludgeoned or chainsawed to death.
And still alive and reasonably dry, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh, Hurricane dodged the Raleigh area. So.
What did you say? The worst thing that happened was that the store down the road didn't have cold beer.
It was a tragedy.
I mean, that sounds like a goddamn nightmare to me, but that's just me. I mean,
that's just because I got a 5-year-old. No.
But anyway, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go down and see what everybody got this week, because money, and buying stuff is what we do. That's what we talk about. So let's start with T-Man again. T-Man, what'd you get this week?
Well, what I got was Punch. Well, this is Counter Punch. And this is Punch. You don't even have to do anything. You just turn them around. And he's fun. I like him. I like him a lot. They didn't cheap on the materials, so Siege should still be a good toy line.
T-Man, if we wanted to hear you talk more about that, could we somehow?
Yes, you sure could. You could click the link at the end of this video to my review that I'm going to link to this after we go live. I mean, after we stop being live.
Sing it. Sing it. What should they do?
I got this.
Yeah, sing it.
Click the video. Click the fucking video. Normally, I edit out the effing.
Yeah.
But I edited it out live, but I decided to just put half of that in there. And
did you say half nut?
Something like that. I put half of it in there.
I got one of those.
I heard.
After we're live, I'll show you guys.
Oh boy.
T-Man, what else did you get this week?
Heroes and a half nut.
I got this. I think they're called Shogoden.
Why is your camera black?
It's black. But
can anybody else see T?
I can see him in the. I can see him in the thumbnail.
Okay.
Oh.
There
but it's Ultra Instinct Goku.
There you go.
And he's like 3 inches tall.
Who makes that?
It's Bandai, but let me try to get the box. It's called Shoto. Shoto Dragon Ball.
Right.
And they're like $13 at Barnes and Noble, or $13 everywhere. They might be $17 in what's that store called? Hot Topic. They're like.
Are they just bare
I'm
bones
not
figures?
allowed them there. I'm too
And
old.
$32 on the Big Bad Toy Store.
Ugh.
Yes,
No, not really.
A little tiny SH Figure Arts style figure. It's sort of like the same thing as the 3.75 Marvel Legends, but better than them because there's better articulation than those. And I also got SH Figure Arts Sakura from Street Fighter.
I need that in my life.
Yeah, you do.
That's really good.
I'm shocked
couldn't
y'all
give
don't
a
have
fuck
it. and
about
I got
the
it. If T-Man has it, you also have it.
Yeah.
And one of our viewers sent me a surprise box. I can't say his username, but it's Matt, the bot supplier for the people who watch my channel. It shouldn't be nothing spectacular because it barely feels like anything. But let's find out what it is.
You don't know what
Something-
it is either, right?
Huh?
You don't know what it is either, right? Well, now you do. You're holding it. So.
I do now. It's 3.75 inch Black Panther
Nice.
Marvel Legends.
Nice.
That's cool.
It's so black you can't even see him in there.
That's some
sure
Wesley Snipes black.
But thank you, Matt, the bot supplier, who's supplying me with something that's not a bot. Well, he said it's a character that I have a lot of. And I was like, it's either got to be Bumblebee or Optimus Prime, or I was thinking Black Panther because I do have a few of them recently only. But that I think is it for me.
Very cool.
good. Adrian,
Awesome.
how about you, buddy?
It's not like last week's haul, that's for sure. I've got this guy, which I'm extremely late to the party on. I didn't want it at the time. Then I heard whispers about which factory it's made in, blah, 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 and I started inquiring, and everyone loved it, so I bought
Tell
it.
the listeners what it is.
Oh, it's Cycle, right?
Yeah.
Action
Bike
Toys,
Robo.
Bike Robo, yeah. He's got a lot of die cast in him, and his joints are really nice. You can remove the faces with a push button on the head, which releases the magnet function that holds them in. Double jointed everything. I really like him. He's great. So I've been playing with him. What else did I
He's
get?
on my list.
You should get him. You can get him for just under $100 at, where did I get him? Robo Toy Base.
Yeah.
You know what? And if people want to see that thing in great detail, they should come to T-Man 978 Chill
Yeah.
Review.
Watch his review. What else did I get? I got given a Gundam kit for a gift. It was my birthday last week, so I got a bunch of stuff.
Did someone say Gundam?
Gundam! I got Full Psycho. What did it say? Full Psycho version KA mobile suit. I don't fucking know. It's an
Full
MG
Psycho,
unicorn. It's like a crazy unicorn.
Full Psycho Keskake.
Maybe, I don't know. It's black and gold for those listening. It looks cool.
It's just another talking head.
It doesn't feel like it's got any die cast in it.
Are you going to build it for us live?
No. I might paint it live, though. I got a new airbrush. That's another thing I got, an airbrush. I started building my Dio. I'm building a 13-foot or 4-meter scale version of Tokyo in 1:150 scale for all my Kaiju and Godzillas to smash.
Nice.
And I'm terraforming that now with all the different plasters. So I got a bunch of little buildings, plasters, road finishes to sculpt in and all that crap.
Hey, Adrian, have you ever considered doing maybe just filming yourself and put it on the channel, doing it, and maybe just rambling on like a how-to or something like that?
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. Yeah, sure.
Because I
that was a master grade, right?
Yeah, MG. Yeah.
There you go. Justin Lynette was asking in the.
Oh, sorry, Justin. Yeah, I should have said.
I think it would have been. He asked if it was the metal build, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he'd be more excited if it was the metal build.
Well, I'm planning to buy the metal build Mazinger Z from the movie, but I'm just saving up for that. For those who have the money, I handled it in Tokyo, and look, it doesn't feel cold because the diecast is under a layer of moving plastic that moves as you manipulate the figure, but it's got the heft and the diecast is there, and I must say, it's probably in the top 5 figures I've ever handled in my life, and that's saying a lot because I got a lot of expensive figures here.
I still need to see
and
Infinity.
Yeah, I've watched bits of it, but not the whole thing. I got a new wallet too. I know it's not a toy, but it kind of is. Look at this.
It's empty now.
Does it say bad motherfucker?
It does this. Yeah? So you push this lever, and all your cards cascade.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Very
dope as
cool.
fuck.
I'm glad you covered your cards with your ID.
Oh, I don't really. Did I cover it? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And that's about me, I think. Like, unless I'm forgetting something, and if I am, who gives a fuck? It's not important.
If you are, you can always jump back in with it.
Yeah, that'll do. That's me.
Pull Greg for mercy.
Mr. Extra Zero. How about you, sir? What did you get?
I got some cool stuff. We'll start off with the one I think everybody else got. Is the Prime Wars trilogy, Punch Counter Punch, and the endorsement that T likes to give is that if Zero likes a Hasbro product, it has to be good. I love this figure. For me, this is it doesn't have proper feet. I think they could have engineered proper feet in there using this panel. They could have had it flip around and have like a flat foot on a ball peg. It's minor. This is one of the best figures that Hasbro has made in years. It's got some weight to it. It's got an intricate transformation for deluxe. It feels sturdy, and there's a lot of paint. And it's one of my. It's an homage to one of my all-time favorite G1 bots. So very happy with this piece. In fact, I'm so happy I actually ordered another one. There are people out there that got theirs delayed, and it sucks. But I hope Amazon's able to fulfill them all, because the more people that get this figure, the better. If you can't get the Amazon one, I would really recommend getting the Japanese Siege one. It is that good. I got, as you saw, the Silver Surfer to give away, and I got our first 10 years Red Skull. I was in Walmart, and I saw him there the other night. And I was like, I went in to buy socks and happened by the toy aisle, and I was like, you know what? Captain America needs somebody to punch the shit out of. So why not the Red Skull?
Why do we lie to ourselves and say that we're going to the store to buy other stuff?
He's got a point there.
Addiction.
That is the bold, honest answer there. Yes.
It should be more of, I went to the toy aisle and then I was there. I got socks.
Yeah.
But I like this first
like I wasn't going to do it.
line, because it kind of gives you the opportunity to just build up your Marvel cast pretty affordably, and these are a lot of figures that Figuarts just isn't going to touch in the foreseeable future. Like, you can have a good looking and affordable Ultron and a good-looking, affordable Red Skull with digital paint. Very happy about that. And the last two things I got, East Coast Toys was having a huge eBay sale, and shout out to that guy. He runs a small shop. He's also a group seller, and he was having a pretty good sale. If you spent a certain amount, you get $20 off. So I did these in 2 separate purchases, and they've been on my short list. These are the KFC King Gorilla and KFC Kingzilla, which is the third-party Snapdragon and Ape Face. Ape Face was the one I wanted the most, but I really like this Snapdragon. I think this is one of the best pieces that Keith has put out. The tolerances are really good. It's got an ab crunch. Oop, I just dropped his head. The coolest pieces or coolest parts on here are the light up cockpits, which I think are
Chicks dig those.
really, really ingenious. And I like the Snapdragon a lot. If you can only get one, I think he's the one to get. But Ape Face isn't bad. I just had to do a lot of fixes on him, and the Snapdragon Snapdragon comes with a lot of fixed pieces for the 8-face. It comes with replacement pieces so you can actually hold his guns. What else? He came with the correct head, like the head that that 8-face comes with stock is just kind of like this weird toy version that just doesn't look all that great. So the cool thing is if you buy them both, then you've got the whole set. So, and they look great on a shelf together. So very happy with that. And again, shout out to East Coast Toys, great service. He had these things shipped to me in a day. Wow. So, thanks to cool. Louise, if he's out there listening.
Do their heads stay on better than this guy?
So their heads not only stay on better, but for those watching at home, if you've never seen this before, the one thing that KFC does better than Fans Toys and Make Toys is they actually have functional tech spec readers. So,
hold it higher.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
And on top of that, the even on Snapdragon here, his little headmaster has an articulated head. They've got elbows and knees. So yeah, the only thing that the Fans Toys and I can't remember if I know the Make Toys have articulated heads. I gotta get I've been meaning to mess around with the hard head, but the only thing the Fans Toys really has on these are the ankle pivot pieces. But yeah, their heads stay on pretty well, and of course, unlike Dracula, it turns. You don't have to fix it. If there's anything that Fans Toys that Keith does differently than Fans Toys, it's that his tolerances are often on the low end of the spectrum. They're loose, whereas with a Fans Toys project, they're too tight. Mm-hmm. So, I had to fix some things on 8-face. I had to tighten screws and put Future Floor on it. So,
Sakura is very tight.
Oh boy!
Creepiest smile he could muster.
I looked up her age. She's 16.
Oh no!
Take a seat.
Some would say old enough.
Japan has different rules than the United States.
I hate to break it to you, pal. You're not in Japan.
In his mind, he is.
Mm-hmm. I have enough Japanese toys to make me think that.
I like how Stephen Brett in the chat said, T-Man, what up? And JL responds back with, so to speak.
So to speak.
T-Man, if that's the standard, I think I kind of got you beat on that one when it comes to the Japanese toys. Just saying.
I don't have a cool display for my toys, unfortunately.
Well, since you're up and about and awake, True Star Screamer, why don't you tell us what you got this week?
Nothing.
Wow.
I got nothing this week.
Bubkas.
Well, there you go.
No, I did go to the library. I did go to the library, and I checked out this book called Red Rising, which I'm looking forward to reading. I've gotten some very good recommendations.
What's a book?
It's like an instruction manual, except really thick.
Oh.
It is a read-only media in an analog format.
So I can't do it on my phone.
You can get
There's a lot of things you can't do on your phone.
A lot of things
that I do.
Well then.
But anyway, so I'll finish up. I got two things this week. With everybody else, I got my Punch Counter Punch. He's amazing. I echo what everybody else said. It's an amazing toy. Please go pick one up if you are interested. I never did own the original G1, but I always wish I had. So if I ever see him at a cheap enough price, I'll pick him up. And the other
I'm
thing,
surprised he was never third-partied.
Not yet.
He may well be now. You'll probably see the wave of them. And the other thing is, a few months ago, I got a first release Dutch, the DX9 Optimus Prime, from an eBay seller that a lot of people are probably familiar with, Baba Bobo 00712. He's a pretty popular eBay seller. I bring it up because anybody that has the first release of Dutch knows that he has absolute bullshit hips that fall apart easily. DX9's second run of the Dutch figure on had fixed hips with a different socket joint. So that kind of left all of us version 1 buyers out in the dark. So I contacted the seller to see if he'd do anything for me, and he actually went and got a shipment of the DX9 replacement parts and sent me out replacement parts for free. He didn't even charge me shipping for those, and it wasn't even
that's cool.
It wasn't
cool,
yeah.
Yeah, that's above and beyond for an eBay seller.
Yeah, so I'm actually, if I, he doesn't know I exist here besides what I talked to him about getting the replacement parts. He has no idea I'm not, I'm not he's not sponsoring us in any way, but he's an awesome seller. I'll put his name in the chat or something. You guys go check out his store. He's got a lot of good stuff, and he does discounts. So definitely a good thing. So that's it for me. Pretty unexciting week, and I'm okay with that because TFCon is right around the corner, and I got to save them monies. So I do have a question for everybody that got punch counter punch. When you're in vehicle mode, do you guys have enough clearance to roll smoothly?
Yep.
Or does it drag a little bit? Because I can't get the legs to fold up.
Are you leaving the Autobot symbol up or down?
I am leaving it folded up towards the head.
Okay, that's weird.
That was my problem.
And you did the shoulder fix?
Yes, I didn't. Yeah, right out of the box, I didn't even. I pulled the arms right off and did the fix right away. We should mention that too. Anybody that's listening that doesn't know what we're talking about, the shoulders need to be fixed on punch counter punch. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take anything but a few minutes. No tools required. So I'm sure if you search, you'll see videos on it.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, and it's definitely like, don't get scared because of that. It's an amazing figure and it's easy to fix. So do so.
And in fairness,
it works without fixing it.
Yeah. It's not like the Legends Black Arachnia where you had to pop a pin out in order to fix that assembly error, and that was a collector or a toy aimed at collectors. I mean, I guess this is too, but
I haven't rolled mines on a flat surface, so I can't tell you. Mine's on that my background, which is far from flat. So on there, all the wheels roll, but it doesn't roll like a Hot Wheels type car.
Right. Well, if you get a chance, put it down on the table or something. Let me know, because I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong, but I don't know. Whatever. Anywho.
I'll try it now.
Let's see. What do we got on the show notes for today? We got.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing I just noticed about this guy, and this is like crazy, and I know we're going to roll into this topic later, but they actually took the time to put in little transparent plastic pieces to make his headlights. I mean, come on. Like, when was the last time you saw that on a Hasbro figure?
And did you see that they put yellow paint right here by his shoulder?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first things I noticed. Like I can't be mad at the well, we'll get to that.
Well, we can talk about it now. I was going to say, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of people are upset about the price being raised in Transformers. I've been upset about it since Combiner Wars. But here, and yeah, you're paying $25 because it's an Amazon exclusive. However, this kind of looks indicative of what, the Siege line is going to be. And I'm fine paying $20 a figure if we get things like painted tail lights, plastic pieces for headlights, a good hefty figure. I mean, this feels like double the, and I'll just pick up Moonracer now. Like this feels heavier than Moonracer. I'll pick up the Nautical. Yeah, this definitely feels a lot heavier than Nautica, which was the Blur mold with extra pieces.
Painted rims.
Yeah, painted rims. I mean, they're not pinned on, but you can't really see the clip points. But that's the other thing too, is that he's got pieces going throughout the folding parts. So unlike the Studio Series Bumblebee, he doesn't fall apart. Like the parts that collapse on him are pinned together. This feels to me like a return to form for Generations, and I think a lot of people are going to be eating crow if the quality for Siege is there. I know a lot of people are tired of G1 or takes on G1, but and maybe this is its own discussion topic. I think one of the reasons that Masterpiece really took off with people was because they were just really high quality figures. And, you know, while I like the Masterpiece scale a lot, I recall a time where I was fine collecting things like the Generations line because they were just all around quality figures and they were good enough representations. And then, you know, they ended up becoming kind of hollowed out, cheap feeling. They were very toyetic, and they didn't feel like they had any collector value. Whereas this, despite being a toy, it's something that's solid enough to give to a kid, I would proudly display.
And like you were saying about the paint, like not only is there a lot of paint applied, but it's really sharply done too. It's not messy. Even the yellow on the blue is crisp and clear. It could have used another coat or two, but you know, that's just nitpicky.
And there's certain areas too, like the part that become Counterpunch's shins. Like it's painted this really nice metallic purple, and that's the only place. You know, for a while I felt like with Combiner Wars and looking at the back of those comics, they were trying to only use like 5 colors.
Colors, right?
And here I count gunmetal, that purple, there's blue, there's red, there's yellow, there's silver, there's black.
Transparent.
Transparent parts. Like just those little headlights.
Did you say red?
And it looks like I don't know if it's a thin layer or not, but it kind of looks like the front vents are a metallic blue. So, you know, honestly, I'd be okay collecting the Siege line if that's indicative of the quality. I'd be going back to praising Hasbro for.
And I think we had said in our private chat at some point, didn't we, or someone did, that they felt like this was a Siege preview figure, like it was the, sort of their way into it.
But I think Zero said it to you. But to answer your question, it is dragging a little bit. It's like the front end doesn't want to come completely flat down unless.
Right, that's what I'm seeing too. The part that's dragging on mine is the actual feet, the black parts. I just get a little bit, a very tiny bowing out of it, but it could be I don't have it tabbed in right. It could be user error too.
Mine feels like there's a little bit of friction. I got wood floors.
It's not a big deal. Like it's not skidding too bad. It definitely rolls. It's just minor bitching because that's what we do.
I know we wanted to talk a little bit about those Prime Wars trilogy releases, and I think it was cool to get a stateside release of the Blast Off that came with the Japanese Bruticus set. I picked that up. It's not the greatest figure ever, but it had a lot of nice things about it. A lot of Tampo decals on there. The retool for Repugnus was absolutely fantastic. That was kind of a welcome surprise as well. And again, a lot of paint, sharply applied, fun transformation, good materials. I really hope that it's a sign of a change. And another thing too is the wheels on this guy actually feel really nice. Yep. I've had a few figures like the Studio Series Optimus comes to mind, where his wheels are like kind of wafer thin, and I like the Studio Series. I thought they were a step in the right direction, but just the hardware and the materials in this guy just are good. They're a return to form.
But is it $25 worth? That's the thing. I look at that, and I still see that's what I should have been getting for $15.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with you, but I think they should have left out the Prime armor, and they should have left out Prima Prime, because if you think about it, you're getting a $15 figure, and you're getting essentially, while it's not a Prime armor, and I actually would have liked it if Prima Prime came with like a unique Prime armor rather than the hand-foot gun.
They've been $17 for a while.
Yeah.
And I will say this, Dave, like didn't you had mentioned, I think, before that you were considering selling off your Power of the Primes or Combiner War stuff in anticipation of Siege. Is that right? Did you say something about those lines?
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, that line and part of it, of course, that's just due to the distribution, has brought me nothing but frustration.
Sure. But what I'm saying is like and again, recurring theme on this show, I'm a cheap bastard. I would much rather pay if this was $25 in the store and I saw like someone like T's review like glowing about it saying it was really good, I wouldn't hesitate because I've spent, let's face it, you spend then the $17 or $18 on these figures that are just fine, you know, that you can sit there and bitch all day about the waffles and the thin plastic. If $5 more means that I'm going to get a high quality figure, if that's the amount of difference that they're going to make between a 20,
that's five. I know, but that's $5. That guy was 25. You know, it's like the Studio Series are $19.
He comes with a special box and head and a prime.
Yeah,
but
the special box. Honestly, that it's cool and all, but if that was a convention exclusive, that's one thing. But for an Amazon piece where, dude, it's like a Marvel Legend, it gets chucked. Unless I'm going to be using that box.
I would say put this guy against your Studio Series Bumblebee and see which one you like better. I mean,
I didn't buy that either, to be honest, because I didn't. That as a $20 figure.
Yeah, I've seen enough reviews on it where I would take this guy all day long. But you know, your wallet, you buy what you want.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not saying.
No,
enjoy your figures.
Sure, but I don't know. I'm cheap, and I was okay paying $25 for this guy. After getting him in hand, I was glad I did it. So that's all I can say.
Cool.
Adrian, are you sitting there anticipating or maybe visualizing what it would be like to own an Amazon exclusive Punch Counter Punch?
I've got no Hasbro love. I'm sorry. Let's say yes.
Could you close your eyes and just think to yourself, if I was holding this lovely piece of plastic that would bring you so much joy, and then you could just throw all those Sola Jagokin bullshit things out the window, and you have your genuine Hasbro product, and then you and Mr. Deluxe Baldwin could share a bathroom stall together?
Well, we do that regardless. Everyone knows that. But no,
if you guys were sharing a stall, what would the soundtrack be? Because I'm thinking Billy Ocean.
Oh God. Okay.
It could be. I feel like it would be Phil Collins.
Now, do you think one of you would be holding genuine Hasbro products?
There'd be Hasbro products involved. I just don't know if we'd be holding them.
Okay. None of them vibrate that I'm aware of, but I guess one could be modified.
I guess this is getting away from.
Okay.
Shit.
Anyway, back to toys. We're talking about. Anyway, I mean the whole thing. Okay, my thing, as I mentioned before, the Prime Wars, all three of them, has probably been, and I've mentioned this to T-Man a couple times. You know, it's been like the best and the worst I've gotten from Hasbro. I've gotten figures that have ticked me off, and I've gotten figures that have been like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, we look at the aerial bots. We look at, actually, the Combaticons were pretty freaking cool. And Six Shot was amazing. Yes, thank you, T-Man, for bringing that out. I'm saying there's a lot of great figures. That Prime Wars Prime was flat out amazing. The Power of the Primes Optimus.
Yeah. And, so I really like the Amazon exclusive version of them, too.
So that's some of the best. But then we get things like the Galvatronus, which was kind of a waste. All the remolds of Dead End. Frankly, as I mentioned before, the distribution killed me. Some figures, the Titans Return line was one of my favorites. I just wish I could have gotten them all. You know, with the Headmaster homages. I mean, that reuse of the blur mold was fantastic. We got the original Headmasters; they were great. You know, those are some of my favorite figures. Yes, Overlord and Black Shadow; those are great. I really wish we got a Thunderwing out of all those, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you know, as repaint happy as they were, I'm surprised they didn't find a way to make a Thunderwing happen.
But I And of course, the Titans. We had Devastator. We had Metroplex. Fortress Maximus was pretty cool. Triptychon's awesome. So those are some of the good things. And then we got
everything else.
Yeah. I mean,
look, I'll say I don't. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's okay.
I was going to say, out of the Hasbro stuff I have handled, oh fuck, what was it again? You just mentioned it.
The one that turns into the thing.
Yeah, the stuff with the wings, the black guy.
Black Shadow. Black Shadow.
Yeah. He was really good. One of the Phase 6s. I couldn't get him in third party, so I looked at getting him, but he didn't scale with my third party stuff. And he was actually really good. Like, the joints were good. The build felt fine. I think it's just like I've got this die-cast addiction, and you can't get die-cast in a Hasbro product or a Takara product, really. Not much. There's some of the Takara MPs have a bit. But I think that's why I'm one of those dumb people that equates weight to quality.
Well, according to that, then, I'm a high-quality guy.
Well, look at me, baby. Top shelf.
No, but I mean, I'm just saying, I am not a Hasbro. I am actually very much looking forward to Siege. But then
you've seen the darkness inside, right? You've seen the blackness the company can muster up.
Well, but then we get something awesome, and then they just had to, the price. It's going through one source, which is going through another source. It jacks up the price on there.
Sure.
I mean, Hasbro has done some amazing things. I will always say the Transformers Prime was probably the highlight of my collecting days. I bought from the Cyberverse. I'm looking at them right now. I could not sell any of those. I love them all very much. They're some of my favorite designs. My biggest, especially when I finally got my hands on that first edition stuff. Man, that was just a ripoff. We didn't get all those, and then yes, it declined. And I'm hoping with Siege, I'm getting back up to that Transformer Prime standard.
But it's looking good, though, at least from what we've seen. I mean, us sitting here right now, we've only seen pictures and some in-hand images, but some promotional shots and in-hand stuff. But yeah, I mean,
and they're throwing some great little things in, like the effect parts. They're giving us the target masters that turn into swords, and we get swoosh things. We get little pew pew effects. We're getting designs.
Like ankle pivot in some of the figures.
Because Hasbro actually looked up and said, "Hey, collectors like to display their collection. Maybe we should, maximize the play that they get out of this and include some effect pieces. How about that?"
So we'll see how that goes. I am very positive to it, and I'm hoping I want to see more of everything I liked because, and I just really hope I don't have to hit online vendors because, once again, who knows? With Toys R Us now gone, the whole distribution game's probably changed around.
Yeah, none of us really know what that's going to look like now when the next new line comes out because we're you're right. What's it going to look like?
Be able to get Wave 1 at least. You should definitely be able to get Wave 1.
Heck, I can still get Wave 1 of Power of the Primes. Just don't ask me about Wave 2.
Yeah, then Wave 2 showed up a few weeks ago, and then I've not seen it since. I saw it in stores a little bit and then gone. I don't know. I don't get it. But
they're starting to show up in Best Buy, I think, too now.
Oh God, he's got a knife, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
That's not a knife.
So we have some topics to talk about. We're mostly an action figure show, but we also eventually all of us. Well, I can't say all of us. A lot of us here are gamers. So we got some gaming news to talk about here as well. But let's talk about for a minute some breaking news from today about Bluefin.
Yeah.
What do you guys? What do you guys think about that? So the short version is that Bluefin was bought out by what, Namco and
Bandai.
Yeah, and I guess the name will stay the same, but the distribution is supposed to be sped up. And us collectors can hope that the pricing will reflect maybe a little bit more streamlined operation, but that might be wishful thinking on our part. But what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I hope that.
I'm excited.
Why?
Us in the U.S., I hope the price goes down, but Adrian, I don't know if it's going to go down for you.
Well, it's still. I don't think it'll affect me that much because it's still all like not all. A lot of it's still made in China, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll still be shipping from the Chinese factories that they're shipping from now as well. I think it just gets better for you guys, but it doesn't change for me.
Actually, that isn't good for us then.
Why?
Fun fact about me. I work in the furniture industry. We deal with a lot of outdoor furniture, specifically wickers and such, which come from China. Starting October 10th, and this is going to be across the nation, so expect this from furniture, electronics, toys.
Yeah. What's happening?
The U.S. is going to be imposing 10% tariffs on all the product, and that's going to be going against the people who import it.
Oh, that already happened here. Yeah.
Well, but it's going to be hitting us specifically. Any product that lands on October 10th is going to be charged the tariff. Doesn't matter if it was ordered 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. Everything is going to get that price hike on its cost. That's the reason why Hasbro moved their factory to Vietnam.
Okay, but if all the goods, like if Bluefin's factoring that in their price and all the goods are landing in America for sale from an American warehouse, then they're not going to add the 10%. It'll just be factored into Bluefin's cost.
It'll be factored into Bluefin's cost, which gets passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's wiggle room enough for the price not to go up that much.
We'll see, but...
Because you're talking about, like, for the most part, Bandai stuff is quite expensive, right? So, I mean, you're not buying $15 figures much. So I feel like from the production point to the retail, there's enough wiggle room.
Well, if a figure if we look at a Soul Chigoken that goes, a figure that goes for, let's work with round numbers, $100, it's now going to be costing us probably $125.
Wait, you said 10%?
Yeah, that would be 110.
10%, but again, it's the world of retail.
No, they're not going to put retail on a tax. That's illegal. They can't do that.
And I had heard that it wasn't going to impact toys at all. I thought it was select goods.
Well, okay, hopefully then. But anyway, on to positive news. What I'm hoping then is that with Bluefin and Bandai being the same company, web exclusives will be much more viable to us without jacking up the price of $1 gajillion.
That would be good.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect us at all, but it's good for you guys in terms of, I'm hoping what it means for you guys is a centralized, like, Amazon-style warehouse that has stock. So you don't have to, like, fuck around going through 4 different people who eventually lead back to the same Chinese factory I'm buying from. Yeah. I hope.
Yeah, but for things like especially like with the movie, I'm sure Zero will be happy with the MCU stuff, the web exclusives, that they might be a little more mainstream to us.
Yeah, that would be nice if those were released, domestically, especially since one of the things that they do that bugs the hell out of me, at least with the MCU stuff, is they'll leave out integral accessories like the Iron Man Mark 50. Like, that pisses me off to no end.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah,
you got to buy another figure now.
Yeah, and then the only way to get the Iron Sentry. Well, I mean, I was fortunate in that I didn't get the homemade suit Spider-Man, and I wanted the Iron Sentry, and it was cool to get those. I got those for a good price a while back. Shout out to Hurricane BX for hooking me up there.
Good dude.
Oh yeah. Jose's great dude. And, he gave me a good price on that set. But yeah, that's like one, like why wasn't, why weren't they just regularly available? So the Tamashi, the Tamashi web stuff, I wish it was, reserved for repaints, like, battle damage versions of the characters, just, stuff for completists, stuff for like the hardcore.
No. It's the cool characters that they put as the exclusives. trust me, if you have like I collect the common riders. Always the cool villains are always the exclusives.
Can I ask a question? Let's speculate on reaction to this. So, your stores like Yellow Submarine, Army, you know, etc., etc. How do you think they're going to fare if a lot of their US customers are now able to buy from a US distribution point?
That's a good question.
Because they got a huge. While I was over there, sorry to interrupt. While I was over there, I was talking to some of the staff about. Because I just walked in, I didn't realize it was Army till I was inside the store. The stores there are stacked, so you just go into a toy building, and then each level has a banner up. And while I was purchasing shit, I thought, this store's really fucking good in comparison to the others. Look up Army. So I said to the guy, he spoke pretty good English. I said, a lot of my American mates buy from you guys flat out. Do you have a store there or a distribution chain, or what's the deal? He said, no, we just got a really good American following. Yeah. So how are they going to combat that now?
I would assume pricing. I mean, if you look at like what happened with Hasbro bringing over the Masterpiece line, I think that it's kind of understood that, and the same thing goes with Figuarts. If you know, when I buy Figuarts from Amazon Japan, they're way cheaper. They're almost impossibly cheaper. We're talking like a $30 price difference. I remember when I bought the Iron Man Mark 50, I spent like $60 on it, and then retailers were selling it for 90 plus shipping, and that was $60 shipped through Amazon Japan. So, you know, I think that's where they'll still maintain the following. There are people that are willing to pay the price because they want that, you know, instant gratification to go into a store. And I see it with Figma as well. You know, Figma online is relatively cheap. I mean, some of the figures are about $40. Whereas you go into a retail store and you see like a Figma figure. I went to a place called Third Eye Comics, which is a great store. And they were selling the Atlas and Peabody there for $90 a pop.
Yeah, we have the same thing going on here. Yeah. But I don't know how much of it sells in the store. But my question is, okay, say your point was that if you buy from Amazon Japan, say an MP or whatever, and it's much cheaper than buying it locally, I've got two questions in regards to that. A, how much was Army? Did it fall between the two, or was it the same as Japan? And before you answer, B, what will the prices be like now for those products? Well, not an MP, but Bandai products, now that Bluefin will have a warehouse in the US or distribution in the US?
Well, the B is the mystery. The B is that's the wild card we're all excited about. We're trying to what is the potential of that?
Yeah, like... I don't know. Are they going to fall in between the two? So is the US? Well, the US, there won't be the US importer anymore, will there?
No, because it's going to be direct distribution.
Yeah. Well, so online stores will be able to just ring up Bluefin and say, "Hey, we need 6 of these, 2 of these." They might even drop ship straight from the Bluefin factory to the customer.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that the price won't drop because companies rarely ever drop the price. It's wishful thinking that they would drop the price. That would be nice.
No, but Army has to because their US customers aren't shopping with them anymore.
Oh, you're saying Army would have to drop it?
I think they will. I don't think Amazon Japan will because that's a free market, right? That's just individuals listing shit.
Well, sometimes it's through Amazon as well. You know, it's not always a free market.
That's true.
In fact, a lot of times
with Army, would they get the product before Bluefin would have get their hands on it?
It all depends. It's kind of like the States.
I mean, look what's going on with
you know.
Well, let's put it this way: the Silver Surfer figure that you acquired.
Yeah.
Which is now not the most difficult figure to find, but people are buying it online, and a lot of people are flipping that figure for $40, $50, and people were buying it because they just didn't want to wait.
Yeah, or they don't have a Walgreens, and Hasbro distribution's all over the place.
Yeah, but now isn't the whole point of this agreement and this new circumstance that the goods will be available to US customers at the same time? Isn't it a logistical advantage? Isn't that the whole point?
Goods might not be advantage at the same time because they might ship to Army first, and then the big container shipment then heads over to the US.
No, they'll. Bandai's a big company, man. They're not stupid. It might be like that at first, while the kinks are being ironed out and people will get mad. But I can't see them in the long term doing that because someone paid a lot of money for this. This isn't just like a handshake agreement. Money passed hands, probably
right
millions.
Now, you're looking at about what? It's usually about a month delay between the Japanese release and then the bluefin release. You're usually about a month.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of this agreement. It's to mitigate that, right? Otherwise, what's the fucking point?
That's what it sounded like to me.
To counter that, Matt, like I've been seeing some of the stuff, like it's weird, especially with like the Digivolving Spirits when I want to say it was Diablomon came out. I found that in Barnes & Noble just before Amazon even got it, even with Angelwomon. So I was like surprised when Alphamon wasn't hitting Barnes & Noble.
It's the air shipping versus sea. Some people airship. It's like what Bobby was talking about with his Zeta news, the Zeta Onslaught.
Yeah.
See, and you actually bring up a good point, and I was wondering about that before. And the example I've got is the SH Figure Arts Mr. Satan that was a web exclusive over in Japan. Joe and I actually ordered from I'm going to butcher the name of the store, Nippon
Nissan.
Thank you. We pre-ordered from there and prepaid for it, and it dropped for pre-order at Big Bad. So I jumped on it there too because I don't know because I'm a fucking moron. But I pre-ordered it on Big Bad, and they both have the same release month. Now, I don't know when in the month for each one, but they both list, and I can't remember, it's either January or February. They both list the same release month.
That might be a factory date, though.
It could be, but then my point after that is that they just put up pre-orders for SH Figure Arts Great Saiyaman, and that one is also web exclusive, but that is back to that month delay with the Big Bad release. So
they might ship because exclusives are small quantities. It's in just one box. They can get 50 figures in a box, and that's it. And they might only be limited. I know in my previous business, when there was exclusive products drop, we were only allowed to buy a certain quantity. Each retailer was allowed a certain quantity. So that quantity might be economical enough to ship by air. Whereas if it's a mainline product and you're allowed to buy more stock, and a store like BBTS who wants a lot of stock, they'll go by ship to save the money and get thousands of them.
Well, I know, like I said, and I could be wrong. You ask anybody, I'm wrong a whole lot. But I think both of them are web exclusives.
You're so wrong, you're right.
That's my point. Like I'll circle back to being right. Yeah. I think both of them are web exclusives, and I know both of them sold out within a half hour, 45 minutes on Big Bad's site. So it sounded like at least initial limited quantities that they're expecting. So what's the difference?
It's probably a factory. The factory's given out a date and said, right, this mold will be ready to ship. Your shipping's probably going to take 2 weeks for everyone around the world. So this month is the month this product's going to drop. And we see that time and time again with Fans Toys and with smaller third-party companies too. But the product doesn't reach us till, 2 weeks to 2 months later.
Right.
In the case of third-party, even a year later. But with mainline toys, there are factory dates and then there are stock dates.
Sure.
And I think it's just who lists what, who was sitting by the computer at the time and what paperwork they were reading.
Okay, so you're saying don't read too much into that at the moment?
I wouldn't, especially if the dates match. Like if the dates are different from retailer to retailer, I would pay attention. But
Sure.
if it's a month thing and it seems to be worldwide the same month, I reckon that's just a projection from the factory.
Okay.
That's my guess.
And then to your point, Zero, about Amazon Japan, I actually went on, I found, what's her name, Sakura?
Yeah.
And she's $35 on Amazon Japan right now, but that $11 shipping brings it up to Barnes & Noble discounted price.
Yeah, but that's with a 20% off 1-day discount. So
right. No, I agree. Yeah, that's the all-time. As long as it's in stock, that's a great price.
Yeah.
For it.
I think the Amazon Japan thing and the Army thing, they came into, correct me if I'm wrong, but they came into popularity due to lack of availability in the States, right?
That's why I started. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, originally. That was the original purpose of shopping overseas. But now with this new deal, I mean, that's what this new deal is. It's to create availability in the States. So you don't have to. These guys are seeing the profits going to Army and Amazon Japan. They're not stupid. They're watching it. And they're saying, well, listen, Bandai, we're equipped to do this shit here. What do you say?
Yeah,
We'll give
they like
you
money
X
too,
dollars.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the deal, I mean, they're both clever businessmen, these two companies. So I'm sure that entailed in the deal is factoring in time, because especially collectors, we're spoiled brats. We want it now. And they know that. So they've probably factored in a deal with Bandai's factory so that Bluefin gets their stock X amount of time before other people get their stock, so that it all lands roughly within the same 2 weeks.
We will see.
Yep. Either way, we'll
Like-
know
We will
soon
see.
enough.
It's definitely a logistical deal. There's no other strategy behind it.
So there's that. We'll see what happens. We're going to hit up one more toy-centric topic, and then I got a couple here that are kind of a mix of toys and other media, and then we got some video game stuff to talk about.
Right.
So I'm going to hit this one up while you're here, Zero, because you love Storm Collectibles.
Oh,
Sing it!
you gotta sing this song. Storm Collectibles, you can suck my dick. Your Street Fighter figures are straight up shit. You made a Shao Kahn, and he sits on a throne, but that shit is made of a squeaky dog bone. Yeah, I hate Storm Collectibles. I'm sorry. I know people like them.
Was that on the fly?
That was the Storm Collectibles song I've been working on for a couple of months now, and it drives two friends nuts. It drives True Star Trigger nuts, and my good buddy Jason Lowry.
I really like it. I think it's good. I think you should the voice is almost Cosby, so I reckon go full Cosby on that shit.
Oh God.
I thought he was trying to go, okay, what's his name? Not Dizzy Gillespie, but, What a Wonderful World.
Yeah.
I see dreams.
Nat King Cole, R.I.P.
Did anybody ever listen to Brental Floss? He's like a video game parody. Yeah, he does one a parody of Wonderful World, except it's Super Mario World.
That sounds amazing.
All I know is if Storm Collectibles was ever going to be our sponsor, you will chase them off.
I would ruin it.
Can we link that in the description when this thing's off air? That's really good.
And Storm Collectibles was actually just calling me, but they just fucking hung up. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Look, so my experience with Storm was not positive. I remember I was excited to see that Ryu figure when it showed up at Toys R Us, and that was a case where I thought it was really awesome because that first figure was showing up, and it was $50 at Toys R Us, which was great. I mean, that's like direct distribution pricing, and I thought, hey, if this happens, these will be good. I remember I got the figure. It was like one of the most disappointing figures that I got that year. Like the hip fell off, the foot kept falling off. It wasn't really easy to get him into poses. Like it was the bulk of the figure was
the paint was coming off his fist.
Yeah, the paint was coming off of the fists. Like when T
who
reviewed
made
it.
that? Fans Toys?
Yeah, right. And it was just like the fists were made out of like this soft rubbery plastic, but it was like so soft it kind of felt like it was deteriorating. And a lot of people are trying to change my mind on Storm.
For that.
But all the Street Fighter figures, with the exception of Zangief, like their Zangief is actually, it feels solid. Everything else that I've touched kind of feels like the same as materials wise as that Ryu. And I mean, they're Mortal Kombat. So I love Mortal Kombat. I love the fact that they're doing Mortal Kombat 2. But I can't get behind the materials, the fact that they're just not like Figuarts. I fell in love with Figuarts because of how fluid they are to pose. And you don't have to be great at posing a figure to be successful in getting a good Figuarts pose. And that's like one of the reasons I was like willing to pay through the nose to get some of the Figuarts versus I could just get my Marvel Legends MCU figures for a fraction of the cost. But
those Storm Ninjas pose very fluidly. And
wall jointed ankles, I hate that.
The ninjas?
I don't think the ninjas do.
So they have regular ankle pivot.
I'll have to get one down off the shelf in a little bit to double check.
He's looking at it nervously, like I don't want to get up there and have to get that thing.
Come on.
The amount of crap between here and there? No, I don't.
Yeah. But it was just like after I loaned it to T, I was just like, I don't know about this. And then I picked up the Ryu from Barnes and Noble. They were doing like one of their sales, and I remember actually talking to Bobby about it. And I was like, do I want to do this? I have the Storm one, and I got that Ryu, and it was so nice. I went back and bought the Chun-Li the next day.
Oh, I'm Figure Art Street Fighter. It's just I like all the other Storms. But anyway, on to the news.
That's it, man. We're done. No, so they're gonna do Golden Axe, which is an IP that I'm only passingly familiar with. So someone can jump in with any kind of information.
It's an older arcade game from the 80s.
That's my passing information.
It came out on Sega.
It was a neat little arcade game. You have a barbarian, a dwarf, and a female barbarian.
A chicken bikini or armored bikini or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that game.
Yeah, I had it on Genesis. I used to play the shit out of it.
Would you be willing to buy Storm collectible figures based on it?
I think it's really niche and cool that they're doing it. I think that's fucking cool, but I'll tell you why I won't buy them. And I would, but I'll tell you why I won't. Because I'll put them up on a shelf and no one's going to get it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that's half my collection. Like, I'm the only one that gets a lot of this shit. I'm okay with that.
I think it'll be cool just having a really good barbarian figure, whether people realize the IP or not. But I think the photographers are really going to love something like that. Especially like scales.
Sorry.
Well, they're not 1/12 scale. They're bigger.
Well, I was curious how well it would scale with like Mythic Legions figures, for example.
Yeah, but you've got Mythic Legions barbarians, right?
These things are going to pose so much better.
I've never handed them, but I hear good things about those Mythic Legions.
Yeah, they have a good feel. Like that's one of the. I mean, that's my main reason for disliking Storm is aside from the scale doesn't fit. I don't like how they feel, but those Mythic Legions, they feel really good.
I heard they got like a Bandai feel to them, like that.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think it's just be very cool to have a good posable barbarian and a dwarf.
Mm. I dig the dwarf idea. If I ever get one, I'll tell you what I'll do with it. I'll put it on a big guy's shoulders and I'll make my own Master Blaster from Thunderdome. Mad Max.
If it was 1985, I would love it, just like I loved He-Man back then. But now I just don't. I don't care.
T-Man doesn't like He-Man?
I used to love He-Man back in the day. I used to love it. Now it's 2018.
What about Thundercats?
I used to love them too, but now I can't do it.
Really?
The only thing that transcended from the 80s for me was Transformers, Ninja Turtles because they came at the tail end. G.I. Joe for a while, but everything else.
Well, hang on a sec. What about Voltron?
Yeah, Voltron, yeah. They made a good
World of Nintendo.
Did you ever get the He-Man Classics?
I never stopped liking Nintendo. So.
Did you ever collect the He-Man Classics or handle them?
Yeah. The newer figures?
Yeah, the classic.
The closest I've came to that is those the Superman that was remolded from that body type.
Oh God, that thing was horrible.
That was one you gave me.
I gave you that one. I sent you that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about like the Matty collector stuff. Hang on, I'll go get one. One sec.
Jeez, Dave, you don't send the man like good figures. You're like, oh man, wait, I sent him.
This is trash. Send it to T-Man.
No, he sent it with some good figures.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
I like the way they look, but it doesn't look like they have good ankle pivot and other articulation. So I know I would be frustrated.
That's actually the same people who do the Mythic Legions who did those old He-Man figures. That's the four
That's
horsemen.
right. Yep,
so,
that is exactly right.
I like this, but my problem with like when they brought Masters of the Universe back is that I couldn't find the distribution was all He-Man and Skeletor. Like Mattel killed that line. They had an awesome cartoon.
Yeah, they fucked it up, and they admitted in the new documentary slightly, like sort of. But
In the thing that made it, they said they had everybody but He-Man and Skeletor. So I guess
no,
they tried to correct the mistake.
Sorry?
I think they tried to correct their mistake when they brought it back out in 2002.
There's a new documentary, a new He-Man documentary, the power of Grayskull, maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. If you're in the chat and you've watched the new documentary, hit us up with the title. I'm about to watch it. It's on Netflix, but I've heard amazing things from fellow He-Man nuts that I grew up with, and apparently, I also heard on Shattercast that was it on Shattercast? It was on something that they're starting up a film studio. Mattel's bought a film studio.
Yeah, they're trying to do like their own cinematic universe.
I like it.
So
I'm a toy guy.
Baldwin just said "fuck Voltron" in the chat. I say no, sir. I say no to that.
No, sir. No, sir.
You're looking for a fight, mate.
I mean, you need to just take that thing you're working on for him and just, you need to trash that thing.
Yeah, the MP Deluxe is about to get a cock in the butt accessory.
You mean a second one.
He said, because I asked, how can you not like Voltron? He goes, because I'm my own man. And he says he'll take us all on. But have you seen like
anything besides Transformers?
He's been hitting the gym a lot lately. Oh, now he collects horror figures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do Figure Arts have any horror stuff?
Yeah,
No.
they have monster arts.
Oh, well.
Oh no, but I mean like humanoid horror stuff.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess you can't count Alien.
You guys were on the brief subject of 80s franchises that got dicked over. That new Thundercats show.
Oh, fuck that.
Was say fuck that because
you're talking about the 2014 Thundercats.
Yeah. Sorry, not the one that they're talking about now. The actual.
Okay. Yeah,
did you watch the 2014 Thundercats?
I haven't caught it yet. I have it on my hard drive.
Okay, it's amazing. Like I don't know anybody. It's fantastic, and whoever let that show die needs to do some bad things to themselves.
I thought you meant that like new Chibi style one.
Oh no, that's not
fuck that.
And you know what? Like that upset me at first, but then I realized that show's not for me. So don't get upset about it. Like,
well, no. I mean, here's the thing. I think you can get upset about it because while it's not for you per se, like is anything really, Well, I mean, it's not for you per se, but obviously, whenever you have a franchise that's like based off of nostalgia. Part of that is appealing to the existing fan base.
That's right.
When I was a kid, I remember my uncle being really excited about Batman the Animated Series, and he was a big fan of the Keaton movie that had come out. And my uncle's like big into the Golden Age and the Silver Age comics, and he loved this. I mean, and at the time, the rest of the family was making fun of the fact he was eating up this cartoon, but. He bought the merchandise. He spent the money. If you're creating something like Thundercats, you got to think about not only bringing in a new audience, but captivating the old one because I mean, let's face it. If you're doing a cartoon these days, you're selling ad space, but you also have to figure out can we use merchandise? How do we make this profitable?
Yeah. You can put me down as not captivated.
Yeah, but you look at the number of adult cartoons that are created these days. Like Netflix is fucking full of them. Amazon Prime is full of them. Yeah. Since The Simpsons, it's just been a steady climb upwards. Adults watch cartoons, and if you're making a cartoon that was during the TV, the most heavy TV usage hours of a generation's youth. You need to, like Zero said, you need to sort of come to the terms with the fact that those dudes are going to see your show.
Yeah, and speaking of Voltron.
Yeah. And they did it well. They did it. It still appeals to us. It references the old fiction, and it's something new. And the voice actors are some of the best. They're fantastic. And then, we've already got a Powderpuff Girls. Don't take my favorite characters and turn them into Powderpuff Girls. I'll punch you in the face.
But all that glowing praise you just had for the Voltron that's on now.
Yeah.
can apply to that Thundercats that was on before. Like part
the 14 one, yeah,
the 14 one. Like part of me wants to say you should go watch that as soon as possible, but the other part of me is like, no, because it's going to end in heartache for you because it doesn't continue.
Well, it's like
Was
that
that
new
a
Ninja Turtles. Like, they've rebooted the Turtles successfully. I think 3 times now.
More. It's got to be more.
Yeah, but each time I liked it. I really liked that revival they did in the mid 2000s, the one that was on Fox. I thought that one was really good.
When they brought Casey back in the mask, that was sick.
Yeah. And I mean, they kind of killed it when they did they did the flash forward. Anytime you do a whole series change where it takes place in the future. I mean, let's talk about Spider-Man Unlimited. That was a great way to kill off Spider-Man the animated series. But that was they did the Nickelodeon series following that, and that was a lot of fun. And now this new one, it's just like,
a Nickelodeon series is the best version of Turtles made.
Yeah,
the 2012 version, because the other one's Nickelodeon too.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
CGI one. That CGI one.
Oh, you like that?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen that one.
See it.
I just rewatched the 1990 movie again. I fucking love it.
No. Watch that CGI one. Watch it all the way through. It actually has a nice ending. It has a weird ending, but it has an ending. It has some fun stuff. It's got homages to it. Has one of the best voice casts of any cartoon I have ever seen. It's got Peter.
Cool.
It's got
they reference everything in it.
Oh God, I'm blanking on the voice.
Whoa!
It's got
Robert Englund was on it when they did the Dream Beavers. He was like a Freddy-like character.
Robert Englund. It's got it's got a great Friday the 13th homage to it.
Roseanne Barr
it references the original cartoon.
Roseanne Barr was on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the Krang Prime or something.
Oh, jeez.
And Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey was Krang. I love that. God, he was in town last night, and I wanted to go really bad. I couldn't because of work. But geez, what did her Krang do? Take Xanax and blame it on her crimes on the turtles?
She was just the main
Ambien.
It's a good show. I cannot recommend. If you're a Turtles fan, watch the CGI one. You will enjoy it.
The 2012.
Yes. The 2012 one. It should all be on Hulu now.
It is.
So that Turtles and the old Thundercats, go watch those things. Forget all the stuff that's on right now. Just go watch those. But let me see. Storm Collectibles. Let's wrap this news article up. If you like Skittles and you like ninjas, boy, do they got some ninjas for you, because Rain and Smoke are coming out for NCC exclusives, and then Big Bad Big Bad got the solicit for the bloody versions of both, so you'll be able to. All the same accessories are included, except they have red paint splattered all over them. So anybody that can't get the exclusives, the Big Bad's got you covered. I know. I feel like that should be switched. Don't you think like that should be switched? Like the.
I agree. I agree.
I think Big Bad should have the standard ones.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, anybody that's seen any of the other ninjas in the line know what you're in for with these. Although Rain's got some cool lightning effects that come down from the this like standing lightning effect, that lightning strike. That's really cool looking. And then Smoke has this very odd like smoke vomit bomb. That's
and that's like. And that Smoke's based off of the Mortal Kombat, not the Mortal Kombat X, but the previous one, because he would basically lob like a smoke grenade.
Right, but then the accessory with him only goes like 2 feet out in front of him, so it just kind of looks like he's nauseated. Like,
yeah.
Like if I was Smoke and I was going to puke, I would throw up smoke. I think that only makes sense to me. So
I think it's fatality.
That could be.
They call Mortal Kombat 2011 Mortal Kombat 9, and I get into arguments with people because that incites that Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe was Mortal Kombat 8.
And then you get behind that table with the sign in front that says "Fight me."
Try to change my mind.
Can I, speaking of ninjas and Ninja Turtles, are we going to get, with this NECA 7-inch turtle release that's just one day going to come out, are we going to get foot soldiers? Has anyone seen anything else, or are we just getting the 4 turtles?
I would assume that they would because they have a 12-inch foot soldier, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I thought
so they got
that was a quarter scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they got to do the 7-inch because the turtles they're releasing in 7-inch are the quarter scale copies, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a shitload of those foot soldiers.
I mean, they would be smart to do it because people will troop build the hell out of them.
I
You'll
forgot
buy
to put
so
a
many,
link
it'll
in
be
the
a
chat.
centipede.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's disgusting. Oh, I was thinking human centipede.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and that's really fucking
It's
sad.
bad. I forgot to post a link in the chat. Maybe next week I'll put it up. But my sponsors, Taobao, have put up the 7-inch turtles for pre-order. But what they've also put up is a fucking diorama that comes with it, like a sick diorama, a really nice one.
That was
have
with
you
the
guys seen that?
SDCC. Yeah.
Oh, you saw that? Oh, it came with the SDCC?
Is it a 2-level like city street kind of thing?
Yeah, like brick.
Yeah,
And it's got like a city in the background.
Yeah, he's right. It's the one that came with the $200 exclusive.
Oh, because they're selling that for $200 on its own on Taobao.
Doesn't surprise me.
Motherfuckers, my sponsors letting me down.
Well, you got to have the in with them, man. Come on, negotiate.
The amount that you spend with them, they're not your sponsor. You're their sponsor.
Nah, it's like Amazon Japan. I deal with a different fucker all the time. I've got probably 5 or 6 fuckers.
There goes our sponsors.
It's okay. They don't speak English.
So
anyway, what's the next news?
Let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's talk about something that has both the movies and the talkies, the moving pictures, and toys all together. Everybody here, I would assume, has caught the Captain Marvel trailer.
Yes.
No.
And what's everybody's opinion?
Need to see more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see young Nick
I got
Fury,
faith
but
in it. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
the scrolls.
Would you say Marvel has built up enough good faith through all of its other movies that you're willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, regardless?
Oh yeah, that's where
Pretty
I'm at with any of them. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought an Ant-Man movie would be amazing?
Guardians
You
of
know.
the Galaxy too.
Yeah, who would have thought that? You know, but I think my problem with the way this trailer was cut, and one of the things that bugs me is people are tweeting and writing articles saying people are sexist for saying like Brie Larson seemed wooden in the trailer. Well, I mean, there wasn't anything like that's the biggest difference with the way this trailer was cut, in my opinion, is that they didn't do anything to like kind of let us know who her character is, what she's about, what her character is like, and like even though I don't think Venom looks all that great, they're still kind of giving you like they're still giving you glimpses of Eddie Brock and who he is and what he does. Here, it's like Nick Fury stealing the show, and I think they're trying to get people they're trying to fill seats with Nick Fury, which is all fine and dandy, but it's not Nick Fury the movie, it's Captain Marvel. So are they trying to withhold? I mean, can they show anything about who she is and what her character's like? You know, all the trailers that have come before Black Panther, they kind of really built up his character. Yeah.
But the thing that I've heard pointed out is that with the trailer, and you're right, it's the cut of the trailer that isn't doing it any favors. Is that they don't show any scenes that and I've watched it a couple times and I tend to agree. You guys might have a different opinion, but they don't show any scenes that would have her really emotional. I mean, there's a couple of like action scenes as her talking. You know, it's not like they say she's wooden, but they're like, but she's kind of in scenes that it would make sense for her to be wooden-ish.
Yeah.
So again, I think you're right. I think it's the cut and the scenes that they chose. But I think everyone can agree with the visuals look good. The costume looks pretty damn good. I don't know. Like I'm kind of hesitantly excited about it, I guess. Is a good way to put it. She's another character where it was like Guardians of the Galaxy is prior to the movies, I had no knowledge of besides a passing knowledge of who they were. And it's my favorite Marvel movie. And I have faith that they can do that again with a character that I know very, very little about.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anybody
excited
else?
to see it. I'm excited to see it. But like you're saying, it didn't grab me because it didn't show any personality. But I guess that's what they wanted because she lost her memory, apparently. So they wanted things to be mysterious. But it didn't grab me. The Bumblebee trailer grabbed me more than that. And that was just a teaser trailer, too.
But that was also plucking your nostalgia a little bit there, too. Yeah.
That's in more than pluck his nostalgia, I assure you.
Yes, it's Bumblebee. I like Bumblebee. And
Adrian, did you watch it?
Which one?
The Captain Marvel trailer.
No, I haven't yet. I saw a really super early one. With her just standing next to a fighter jet and some text and bullshit. I haven't watched the latest one, no. I'm not really super keen for Captain Marvel. Like, I know it's going to tie together the Infinity War thing somehow, but I didn't read her. I didn't read her as a kid. I don't read her now. Yeah.
So how did you feel when the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer came out years ago? Were you excited for it, or were you kind of feeling the same way?
No, Guardians I read. I loved Guardians. I still love Guardians. Guardians is a really important property to me. I've always liked Guardians because it's it did come out later than everything else in terms of how old I am, and when I was reading comic books, it was the tail end of when they came out. But it's quirky, it's funny, it's comedy-based comic books. I love that shit. Yeah. I'm excited for Venom. Venom's part of my childhood. I'm a nostalgia guy. I don't really, unless I happen to catch a trailer on Facebook, which is, a lot of the groups I'm in and you guys are in, people post the shit. And if I watch the trailer and it's not a property I'm that interested in, but the trailer looks dope, I'll go back and read the fiction or at least, get a summary of it. But Captain Marvel, I knew her abilities. I knew her, the whole thing with the Kree and all of that. I just got no fucks to give for her. I want to see some Image movies. I want to see Image comics made into movies.
Oh, man.
And not Saga.
Well, I was gonna say that's like that would be a good discussion topic. Like what obscure comic movies would you like to see?
Oh, I could give you a list.
You know what? I'd really like
currently
to see.
Yeah,
what would you like to say?
It would bore our listeners to death.
No, it wouldn't, because so there's a book out there, Scud, the Disposable Assassin.
Mm.
And they made a great video game of that.
Yeah, a Saturn game of all things too.
Well, it was on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually take two light guns and that was one of the first games you could actually dual wield light guns with.
That's cool as fuck.
It was cool as fuck.
But that was the second half of that book was written by co-written by Dan Harmon, who's pretty famous now for Community and Rick and Morty. And I think if they got the same studio that does the animation for Rick and Morty and get Justin Roiland involved, I think they could make a really good, and it's got a lot of the same humor, some of the same beats.
Oh, really?
And it tells this one kind of linear story. And I think that they could, because it was only 30 issues, they could condense that into a movie or two.
Mm.
Like the premise of it is this, android assassin. Basically you can buy an assassin from a vending machine, and he realizes that like once he kills his target, he self-destructs. So he just basically cripples his target and keeps her on life support. But then keeping her on life support's expensive, so he has to take like freelance mercenary jobs. That
sounds cool as fuck. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. Like, you can get the complete series. They came back in 2008 to finish it. It's like you can get it for like $30.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I'm gonna buy that. Can you hit me up in our chat with the so I don't forget? Yeah, cool.
As you're talking Image Comics, I've been burning through Spawn lately. I'm up to issue 209.
They're doing a new Spawn movie.
Yeah, I've seen some concept for that. That looks cool.
That's just what they've done with that. What happened in that book? Oh dear Lord!
They get pretty gruesome, right?
It just got weird. There's this guy named David Hine who was writing it for a while, and he just McFarlane like took a break, and Hine just he took it to hell and purgatory and back.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck was going on with most of that.
I'm quite enjoying Lazarus at the moment. I think that would make a fantastic film. In fact, I think the way it was written, it's basically written to be a film. So I highly recommend that one. The long and short of it is that it's in the future. Commodities are running low, and you have several families, and the society's gone back to a feudal system like feudal Japan. And each family has a Lazarus, which is they're not allowed armies. They're only allowed one fighter to represent their family, and that's it. And they treat the Lazarus as like a weapon. But the Lazaruses all know each other too, and they have relationships with each other, so it complicates things. It's very interesting. So I'm reading that at the moment.
We'll make a note of that. That's probably, like you said, that'll be a good discussion topic to have maybe part of a show dedicated to, is to wax poetical on what these, because I'm sure there's a shit ton, and there's some I can think of.
Yeah, so many.
Oh yeah.
That we could talk
It'll be a
about.
cool episode though. It'll be cool to throw out to the chat too. I don't know how many guys out there read their stories, but we'd like to hear what you think too.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
All right. So just the other half of this, besides the trailer, was that the Amazon actually, oddly enough, leaked some small, hard to see pictures on their postings of the Captain Marvel wave of Marvel Legends, and then instead of removing them or blacking them out or putting up temporary spots, they actually doubled down on them and put the full res images up and said, "Fuck it," and now we have full, beautiful shots of this wave, or at least the figures that are revealed thus far. What do you guys think of the look of these? We got the Captain Marvel, we got the Nick Fury, we've got who else? Help me out here. I don't have a list in front of me.
I'm in the scroll.
You all said it at once. Try again.
One of
There's
the scroll.
We have a Skrull, we have a Kree soldier, and then also I think at SDCC they also showed Marvel as well.
Okay.
We're gonna get these up on the screen.
Yeah, get us some pictures, and then the
Build-A-Figure, dude.
Yeah, he's a Sentry, right?
And that is comic book accurate, which was a silly, goofy design to begin with.
So,
I like all of these except Captain Marvel's face. I hope that's a prototype face.
And it may well be at this point.
It doesn't look like it's got the digital paint yet.
What the?
Look at this. Yeah.
What is happening?
You zoom in and you get an ad.
Now then, you guys,
There we go.
you Marvel Legends aficionados, and I like that word. Is the Nick Fury body? Have we seen that a bunch of times?
I think it's the same body that Ross is using right now.
Yep.
Three times.
Okay.
Super Skrull looks new.
The Purple Man had that suit too.
Yeah, he did.
4 times. So did Agent Coulson and the Chameleon.
Now, do we know? Does the Skrull have interchange? Can he be a troop builder? Does he have interchangeable parts for troop building, or we don't know that yet?
No,
we don't know yet.
Okay.
But the Star Force Commander or Marvel, whichever it is, that looks like a reused body type, and that also looks like the Spider-Man Noir gun reused. I can't tell.
The one that shouldn't have gone with him in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, Captain Marvel, she looks okay. I think that's the same body that Mantis uses. It's very svelte.
I think it has double-jointed elbows.
This may be one of the first waves I actually really pass on. I've bought just about every freaking one of them.
I mean,
I bought every freaking one of them.
I want those three. I want Captain Marvel. I want Nick Fury and the Skrull. But depending on what else is in that wave. But then again, I'm when it comes to me and Marvel Legends, it's always like I pick and choose, and it's kind of like whatever they're not going to do for and you know what they will do. They'll do a Figuarts Captain Marvel. And they're going to do that.
I might get the Fury just because to have a young Samuel L. Jackson figure is just begging for some awesome photography.
How many people are going to turn him into Jules?
Oh, everyone. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, how can I do an afro?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really all we know about that so far. That's early in the cycle on those. But anybody have anything else to say about Captain Marvel and her pair of toys?
It's going to be good. We should just relax.
I think one of the things, I can't remember whether I said this in our chat or not, was I think, no, it was with a buddy of mine. We were talking about the Star Wars, like Disney putting Star Wars kind of on hold a little bit. And he made a comment saying that, he's kind of feeling, or he asked me, he said, are you feeling burnt out on superhero movies? And I said, I'm not feeling burnt out on the movies. I love seeing the movies, but I'm feeling burnt out on the hype. And I think that's like one of the things with this trailer too, is that, I'm guilty of it. I wanted to see more of her character, but, we're expecting so much spectacle that, that it really kind of gets in the way of just being excited to see like, a new, a franchise that's never had been on the big screen before. And I think there's something to be said about that. So I hope the movie does well. I hope it's, kind of a pleasant surprise, a character that I'm not familiar with. And I go in and I want to know more walking out of it. And then it builds up more anticipation for Infinity War Part 2. Not that anything else. I mean, I'm so hyped for Infinity War Part 2.
Yep, I agree 100%. It doesn't. It's everybody's all in at this point. They've got us. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They would have to tank several in a row to really get people to stop and like, what? Like they screwed a few up. So, all right. So we had teased some video game stuff that we were going to talk about. I think we're going to push that to the next episode because all that stuff can wait. Maybe next week we'll talk about some Nintendo Online after we've had a week or so to mess with it. And some other stuff. So,
I also hear that there may be, and of course it's all rumors and speculation, there may be an announcement coming from Nintendo about another classic console that I think everybody is already know is going to happen.
Some copyrights were filed for controllers and such. Yeah, I saw that.
Let's give away this toy.
Yeah, let's do that.
So let me go ahead and I will modify this wheel real quick. Shout out to GCI Toys. Will, check him out. He's the, he helped me get me directed to this. So,
hey,
the question is Joe exempt from this? He's not tonight's episode.
That's what I was going to say. He's in the chat, but he's not on the episode.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. You're.
I will put Mr. Baldwin in here.
He can be, and he's not podcasting much.
He's not going to win.
But I mean, and Joe doesn't want it because it doesn't have titties.
That's true.
He could always. That could be his first custom job. I mean, well, as far as I know.
So this is a 1 spin, 1 win. Let me go ahead and share out.
I'll share your screen.
Yep. All right. So we're going to click to spin. Got all the names in here. Oh, it would help if I was actually clicking the app, not the... Oh! Well, shit!
Oh, my God. That's fucked. But you know what? He doesn't collect Marvel Legends. Hey, Deluxe, say in the chat if you want this or not. Ready, set, go.
He said if he wins it, he'll give it away on his channel.
That's fucked. Nah, spin it again.
So
Deluxe, can we spin it again? Nah,
He just went back.
about it.
Yay!
he wants it, I think.
Yeah, if he wants it, man. I mean, we did say before the spin that he was in, so.
Well, I have his address already, so that makes life easy.
That's so fucked.
And we know he's subscribed.
Oh, no,
Hey,
he's-
Oh,
he says spin it again,
Spin it
so
again. Okay, spin it again.
we'll take him out of the equation.
no, leave him in. I want him to see it.
Yeah, see him win again. Yeah.
Oh, he's putting it back. Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it back. Just
Yeah.
because if he wins, then it's destiny.
Yeah, people on his channel will be like, "Why is he giving away a Marvel Legends?"
Oh my god! Get fucked!
If he wins again, then it's definitely rigged. Alex!
Alex.
There we go.
Alex, congrats, man.
All right.
Deluxe
Alex,
got it twice.
Deluxe,
Silvers.
and you know, I feel bad because we took it from you twice now. So you're going to get sent out to you a signed copy of Figure Action's first album. We're
Yep.
going to drop an LP soon, so you're going to get a signed copy.
Is it just me singing the Storm Collectible song?
Yes,
It'll
yes.
be in there.
And the-
That'll
and-
be the B-side.
In a 25-minute click the video remix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the odds he'd win twice in a row?
That's crazy. That's just fucking crazy.
So, anyway, guys, that's it. Does anybody else have anything of value to add to this conversation?
Well,
Not
one
really.
thing, I got it on the books today for anybody in the DMV area. That's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. On Saturday, November 17th, starting at 12 p.m. at Frisco's in Columbia, Maryland, or Frisco Tap House in Columbia, Maryland. We're doing the next DMV collectors meetup. And we'll have some channel exclusive content going on. So we'll be streaming some stuff on the Facebook channel, or the Facebook group as well. But anybody in the immediate area is welcome to come and attend. What is it all about? Well, mostly it's to get collectors together to mingle. But it's a place where you can come, you can check out some figures that you might not, have the opportunity to see, get to know your fellow collectors in the area. And it's a really, really good time. Matt and Joe and T are normally there. We've got Kevin from the DMV Collectors group. Bolt Matrix has been coming to him. It's been good to see him. And we have a lot of faces, a lot of turnout. This one's going to should be the biggest one yet, because there's another collecting group that's going to be coming. So, for anybody out there in the area, hit me up for details if you're interested in coming. Otherwise, stay tuned in the channel, because we're going to have some cool content in the coming months.
Yep, that sounds good. And that just, like he said, that's DMV Collectors Meetup, which we've how many have we done now? We've done 5 or 6 now.
Yeah, it's going on 5 or 6. 'Cause we've had a couple smaller ones as well.
And I can't, anybody that's listening that's not in the area that can't attend or I can't stress enough how much fun they are, how important. I think they're important because it helped me get out of my shell and get out and meet people. I met a lot of these guys through that, through the meetups, and it's a lot of fun. And if you guys live in an area that like doesn't get many conventions, you are in a prime spot then to put together your own thing. We have a group, get people together. I swear to you, there are more people out there that Joe and I. Joe's not on tonight, obviously. You know that 2 hours in, but him and I have been friends since middle school, and it wasn't until recently that we realized that each other were the same caliber collector. And you never know who you're going to meet or talk to and become friends with. And it's just like this is turning into a PSA for these things. But I can't stress enough how important they are. Like, they do it. Put your big boy pants on and go start one up. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Play with little boy toys.
That's the thing is we started small too. It was about this time last year.
Yep.
October
was our first one. Yep.
Yeah. And, we started off small. It was like, I believe 8 of us. I hit up TFW. The only person I knew at the first meetup was T-Man. And even then, I'd been saying for years. And, T and I actually met up through TFW 2005. we formed a friendship that, from that site, and it's, it's great. I've, made some friendships from these meetups between Matt and Joe, Kevin, Jason L, Gort. A lot of great people have come out to these things. They've been a huge success. And Stephanie, Sven, some really cool people, have shown up, and it's great. And anybody that's saying, I wish I had these in my area, just put yourself out there. Find a place, give them a call, say, hey, I need a table for 10. Now, like, we're reserving a room. I think at the peak of the last one, we had close to 30, if not more than 30 people show up. And, it's a really cool thing to have everybody there, check out the figures, and you're not even obligated to bring anything other than yourself, good attitude, and be willing to have a good time. It's a convention vibe.
And you know what too is that, like, I've been a closet collector nerd for a long time, and that when you come out to these things, and like, I give zero props for this, is that like he will bring out all this crap and just lay it out on the table, zero fucks given to anybody else around, like. And the first few meetups, you're kind of looking at people giving you looks, and it's kind of odd. But I got to tell you, even after all that, like after the first few, you don't even notice anymore. Like, it's, you just. And how many times have we had people come up to us while we were at a meetup or had stuff out that sat down with us and was like, I remember this. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Every time. Yeah.
So. Anyway, guys, we're losing people left and right, so we may as well call it quits for the evening.
I don't know what happened to Dave and Adrian.
Oh, they're both peaced out on us. So we'll pick now to wrap up. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. I thank everybody that listens afterwards. Please comment. Please give us some feedback, good and bad. We want to hear it all. Please also ask us some listener questions, anything you want to hear from us. We've got a couple that in the queue that we're going to get to next week, maybe get a few more on. And, we really want to go back and, we want to do what you guys like as well. So if you want to hear it, then tell us about it. Okay.
Even if you're not watching it live, put a comment down there. We still read that. Yeah.
Well, I promise we'll read it, even if we don't always respond, because some of us are just, well, we're all lazy sometimes.
We do have a couple more industry insider episodes planned as well.
Yes, I think those have been successful. I think you guys really like those, and we're going to continue to do those as often as we possibly can. So look forward to that. We're going to try to pull from different parts of the industries, whoever will come and tell us things. We probably won't always get a brand new product line introduced on our show, but it's nice when it happens. So I've rambled on enough, guys. Thank you two for coming out. Thank Adrian and the True Star Screamer as well. So Zero, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. You can find me on the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me on Xbox and PlayStation Network as Extra Zero. And, of course, you can find me here every Friday night. And since, thank God, work didn't call tonight, I'll be back to the normal hosting duties next week.
T, how about you, buddy? Where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube and everywhere else there's a social media. I like to say good night to everybody. I don't want to say good night for Star Screamer. I think his daughter must have been woke. He had to leave. And Adrian got busy with work, so he had to leave. So,
or just might be getting busy. We don't know. Either way, we Godspeed to him. Mm-hmm. So, my name is Matt Partsformer. You can find me on Xbox as Partsformer, Twitter as Partsformer, Instagram as Partsformer, and I don't know. Type in Partsformer. It's probably me. I don't know. I'm there. I'm all around. So I want to thank everybody that participated in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to us. And I guess we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
See y'all.